Today, the Russian Direct Investment Fund have announced a manufacturing tie-up with India's Dr. Reddy's to produce 100 million doses of the Sputnik V vaccine, which is based on the adenoviral vector platform. Joining us today to talk more about this partnership and about the Sputnik V vaccine, we have Kirill Dmitriev, CEO, Russian Direct Investment Fund. Mr. Dmitriev, thank you so much for joining us today. Could you take us through the details of the tie-up with Dr. Reddy's?
Sure, Divya. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, India is a very critical market for us because we, as partner of Russia and India, have had long historical partnership on many issues and, have really been historic partners and friends. So Dr. Reddy obviously is one of the leading companies, has great distribution capabilities, not only in India, but also in other countries, and is an example of a very successful company. So for us, we are happy that they will, following the approval of the regulator, agree to purchase 100 million doses of the Russian vaccine Sputnik V. We see it as a major continuous validation of the advantages of human adenoviral vector platform that we have versus some of the other newer platforms, such as monkey adenovirus, such as mRNA, that really have not proven their long-term safety. So for us, we really see that human adenoviral vector approach that Sputnik V has been tested for a long time, has demonstrated its efficiency in many, more than 250 clinical trials throughout the world. And we're definitely looking forward to starting clinical trials also with Dr. Reddy. We believe that we will start clinical trials in India already this month. And then we will be working closely with regulator to get an approval for Russian vaccine in India as soon as possible.
I want to ask you about the efficacy of the vaccine. Could you tell us what's been how long do the antibodies last? How long do the T cells last? And another important aspect about this pandemic is that it impacts senior citizens in a big number. Has the vaccine been tested on elderly population, and what's been the efficacy on those populations?
In the clinical trials we've had, there were no side effects that were significant, and 100% of the volunteers developed very strong immune response, so 1.5 times the level of antibodies of a very sick person who is sick with COVID. And then also we showed evidence of cellular response, which means that there is longer-term immunity. Now, Gamaleya Institute believes that the immunity from our vaccine will last 2 years, which is longer than for others. Now, that specific amount of time still needs to be tested. It is based on their previous Ebola vaccine, based on their previous MERS vaccine. But the advantage that we have is that we use 2 different human adenoviral vectors, means 2 different shots with 2 different vectors. And the second shot increases the number of antibodies by 6 times versus the first shot. And Russia is the only country in the world that has 2 different shots, and 2 different shots work better because if you do 2 shots with the same shot, immunity to the first shot prevents from having very strong response to the second shot. So this is the brilliance of our technology: 2 safe human adenoviral vectors using AD adenovirus vector number 26, using adenovirus vector number 5. Just briefly, Johnson & Johnson uses just adenovirus 26, they don't have 5. CanSino of China uses just 5, they don't have adenovirus 26. Russia is the only one who has both. And we already started additional trials on elderly population, and they are ongoing in Russia right now. And you are totally right that the big focus is to show safety on elderly population. So we have started this already in Russia, and there will be trials specifically on the elderly population as well, because obviously this is very much a high-risk group.
Do you plan to be part of the WHO's COVAX agreement?
We are in good discussions with both COVAX and with Gavi and with WHO. So yes, we plan to apply for being part of COVAX program, and we believe that vaccines should be available to different nations, different countries without discrimination, and we believe that COVAX program is a good one in that regard to provide equal access to many different countries to the vaccine.
There has been a letter that has been written just few days back by few scientists who have questioned the data that was published in the Lancet magazine. I read your paper, which was published in Lancet, but there are a few scientists who have questioned the veracity of this data. What would you like to tell them?
Well, first of all, Mr. Lagunov said it the best, who has developed the vaccine. He said that he submitted the data that we have, not the data that Italian scientists should like. And basically, all of the data has been provided to Lancet. And what they probably don't understand, the Italian scientists, is that Institute of Gamaleya kept all of the actual samples from all of the people. So we have all of the samples and everything is open to the Lancet. So this claim has no merit. And the second point is that some of those scientists need to disclose also their conflicts of interest, because the main scientist pushing this, he actually has a commercial company, commercial business that is consulting on trying to, stop fraud in data. And we believe that when scientists are not just scientists, but have commercial interests, those interests have to be disclosed, and they have not been disclosed in this case. And this is not a good thing when scientists do not disclose their commercial interests and possible interest in using this situation to promote their commercial company.
Do you think politics has taken over science in this entire race for coronavirus vaccine?
Well, again, all we do is that we focus on doing the right thing. And as you've seen, Russia has been attacked, but it has proven again and again that it was right. So first, there were claims that Russia steals the vaccine. Really baseless claims, trying to paint our vaccine in dark colors. And then we showed our vaccine is very different from others and frankly better than others. We are the only ones who use 2 human adenovirus. Secondly, there was an attack of, can you register vaccine before phase 3 trial is complete? Well, the answer is yes. And both China, UAE, and many other nations will do the same. Thirdly, there are attempts to not let us share information that human adenoviral platform is much safer than monkey adenovirus and mRNA. And we see a major block in Western media on this specific information, which we believe puts people in the Western world at risk, because they deserve to know that monkey adenovirus and mRNA have not been studied for a long term. There are no long-term studies of effects on fertility and cancer of those technologies. And this information is absolutely blocked in all of the Western media outlets. So we believe there are definitely very unfortunate political undertones trying to attack Russian vaccine, but the successes we have in, securing our population, in having major interest from, more than 30 countries for 1 billion doses. Recently, we announced, sale of vaccine to Mexico, to Brazil, today to India. We'll have other major announcements in the next couple of weeks. Just shows that we need to depoliticize the vaccine and keep on doing what's right, which is having the best technology, making it available to many people, including through partnership with India, that has great manufacturing capability and that has great scientists. And those great scientists studied our technology, understood the benefit of human adenovirus. That's why we are signing with Dr. Reddy. That's why we have more than 5 manufacturing partners in India, that we are going to be producing our vaccine for India and for the rest of the world.
So today you announced a tie-up with Dr. Reddy's. Who are the other 4 companies going to be? Can you give us an indication?
Yeah, we will not disclose so far all of the production partners, but we will disclose them in due time. And we can just say that they are very reputable, very successful Indian manufacturing companies. And India really is the future. Well, it's not the future, it's actually existing vaccine hub for the world. And I think it's very strategic and shows the wisdom of Indian leadership, that you position the country to be so strong in an area that was neglected by many Western countries. And India really has the best manufacturing capacity and facilities for vaccines in the world. So India can really be a major contributor jointly with Russia in saving the world.
What's going to be the cost of your vaccine? Have you decided that for India and for other low and middle income countries?
Yeah, we are not disclosing the cost of the vaccine yet because we are trying to scale up And obviously, the more we scale up, the lower will be the cost. All I can say is that the cost will be lower than the cost that was announced by a number of Western companies publicly. So it will be affordable cost to most countries.
Just last question. When will be the official launch of your vaccine in Russia and other parts of the world?
Well, in Russia already it has been launched on August 11th. President Putin announced that we have registered the vaccine. Already the vaccine is received by a number of people in Russia, including some high-profile people such as our mayor of Moscow, Minister of Defense, daughter of President, Minister of Industry, and ordinary people. For example, I myself and my family is fully vaccinated. So the advantage we have is that in Russia, the vaccination is ongoing and it's, happening right now and people get protected just as we speak. And then again, we expect delivery to India and to other markets subject to regulatory approval of our vaccine in November. And we believe it's particularly important to get vaccination going before the winter season in most of the world, because winter season, is obviously high risk season. So we are rushing to get vaccine going and believe that we can supply to key markets in November, December.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Dmitriev, and all the very best for your endeavor. I hope to chat with you again.